Right guys, today we are here to learn how to add £20,000 per month to our revenue using virtual assistants, and I'm here with Lloyd Jones. Lloyd, thank you so much for joining me in my, obviously, hotel. So
Thank you.
I know it's a busy
What an honour.
I know. So if anyone doesn't know who you are, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you've done?
Absolutely. So, yep, Lloyd Jones, based in Northern Ireland. Company down, full-time Amazon seller. That's pretty much it.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
How long have you been selling on Amazon, may I ask?
So, in total, since September 2017.
Wow, okay.
So, for a while, but obviously this past couple of years been much more full on.
So obviously today we're here to learn how to add £20,000 per month to our revenue using virtual assistants. And I think that's it's a very interesting topic, and obviously I'm looking to grow my revenue, as I'm sure everyone else is. But before we jump into that, let's just understand where you are now, your business, and then let's understand where you've come from so we can see that journey. So can you share with us like some stats maybe about your business, where you're at the moment, maybe the team, maybe revenue wise? Tell me about that.
Cool. So year to date, I think we're 497,000.
Wow, so
in terms
close.
of revenue. Yeah, start of the year, we'd set a target for $500,000. At that stage, well, where we are at the moment, so it's me and a team of 6 virtual assistants. I don't particularly like the term virtual assistants because they're all team members and yeah, very valuable. There's nothing virtual about the value they add, so yeah, really, really valuable to me. Sat for some time at the start of the year, reviewed 2020, and at the start of the year it was me and 2 other team members. So we looked at what our margin was, what our revenue was, and where we wanted to get to by the end of the year. So in terms of where we are now, we are about £3,000 short of $500,000. So we are probably going to hit that, I would say, by the end of the weekend, something like that. So yeah.
Friday the 17th, yeah.
Yeah, so a few days early. And yeah, that's pretty much it where we are at the moment. In terms of January, start of the year, it was me and 2 other team members, and we were just shy of $250,000 last year. So we've kind of 2x'd what we've done since last year.
Fantastic. Hey, and obviously we haven't finished the year. You are definitely going to hit that $500,000 goal. So
yeah,
well
fingers
done.
crossed. I would say yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
So question for you: if anyone's watching, and we talk about virtual assistants, VAs, can we just define what does that mean?
In terms of VAs, to define that, they are members of your team, members of your business who are generally based abroad. Most of my team is based in the Philippines. There's one based in Japan, and I have another based in Qatar.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got an office in Qatar and Tokyo and yeah, the Philippines as well.
Truly global.
Yeah, global. And Hillsborough, County Down.
Wow.
So yeah, there you go. In terms of the value they add, the way I've structured my team, I have 4 sourcing VAs and 2 admin. One of the admin is part-time and looking to go full-time next year because of increased admin roles and admin tasks. And yeah, that's how we're set up.
So today, obviously, we're here to learn how to add £20,000 per month to our revenue on Amazon doing arbitrage. It's a big bowl, it's a big claim. Tell us about it. How do we do it? How do we make it happen? If anyone's watching now, how do we make that happen? How have you done it?
So in terms of sales is generally based on spend. So to be able to generate sales, you need to be able to spend money to buy deals to generate those sales. If that makes sense. So what we looked at is what we would need to add that amount of revenue per month. So we looked at our margin and our turnover the year before. We looked at how many deals we were sourcing, and we scaled that out. So to be able to do that, we needed more deals to be able to spend more money. We needed more cash available, more credit available. So we looked at that process as well. And yeah, we basically sat down, did that at the start of the year, and I'd also put in place a plan for Q4. So I wanted to have a team of 6 in place with at least 3 months experience because, well, there's very few jobs in the world that you'll start as an expert on day 1. So, and it generally, with my experience with my team members, after around 3 months, that's when you really start to see a lot of progress. So it was May time when we had a team of 6, we had everyone there, and then it was just the process of kind of getting everyone involved in the culture and yeah, kind of uplifting the base level of skill.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so if I clarify, and what I want to do is really just make sure we break it down so that people understand. So step 1, define the goal.
Yes.
$500,000.
Yes, so I suppose that process it's backwards engineering. So you start where you want to finish, work out what you've done previously, and then work out what you need to put in place to get where you want to go.
Okay. Let's talk it through for your example, or your case. So if anyone's watching it, they can understand. So 500,000, and last year you did 250,000.
Just shy, yeah.
Just shy. Let's call it 250,000. Now you can do 500,000. So what did that look like? Tell me about that. So like, how do you go? Like, let's say for example, tomorrow, next year you want to do 1 million, for example. Do you just hire one VA, or how does it work? What's the calculation of like how many I need to hire? How does it work?
Yeah, it's interesting because last year I was much more hands-on, so I was doing some prep myself, I was doing a lot more wholesale myself as well, so I basically wanted to take myself out of the business and pass that on to others. So I worked out that I wanted to work on the business maximum 15 hours a week and what I would need to put in place to cover that time. So yeah, does that answer that question? Is that what you have?
I think the question is let's say for example someone right now, they're on 250,000. They too want to get to 500,000. They've got the goal, step 1 done. What's step 2? Is it now I'm going to have to hire team members? Or should we say, is it 1 VA? Is it 2? How many VAs is it per? How much value do they bring? How does that work?
I suppose with this, there was a bit of trial and error, and I've had the benefit of last year. So kind of intuitively, you would be able to work out how many deals you would need to have to spend the money to generate those sales. So backwards engineered from that and put in place a team of 6. 4 people to source. 1 was already purchasing for me, and just with the way the team was structured, one of the VAs, she wanted to work over the weekend, which meant we had 2 or 3 days that she couldn't purchase. So we trained up a second purchasing VA. So whenever she wasn't there to purchase, we didn't miss any deals as well. So there was, a bit of that as well.
Okay, fine. So let's just break it down, and I want to make it very crystal clear. So let's talk about 500,000. 500,000 roughly, not perfect, 50,000 a month revenue.
Yeah, but
that's 600,000. I know.
Yeah,
my math is not brilliant.
40 times 12 is 480. So
yeah, 40,
whatever.
41, 42. And then you're doing 250,000 prior to that. So per month you're looking, what, 21? Is that right?
Something like
21 up to 41. It's going to be from 250,000 to 500,000. That's about £20,000 extra revenue per month. Is that right?
That's about right, yeah.
Fine. Okay. For you, and let's just break this down. So for you originally, you were very hands-on. 250,000. Let's go back there. Very hands-on. 2 VAs. And what are they doing? They're finding deals?
They were finding deals, and 1 was purchasing.
Okay.
Then there was a lot of admin for me to do, so obviously wanted to remove that. So hired first admin VA in March. She was part-time, and then hired another full-time admin VA.
So just to clarify, those 2 VAs initially, the first 2 VAs at 250,000, they're both doing admin, is that right?
They're both sourcing.
Okay.
They're both sourcing.
So do you call them admin VAs sourcing?
Sorry, I think no. Yeah, so there would be sourcing VAs.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they're sourcing, so that's fine. So start off a year ago, 250,000, roughly 21,000 per month in revenue, and you got 2 VAs, 1 part-time, 1 full-time?
Both full-time.
Both full-time. Cool. Sourcing. Okay. Now, obviously you've grown. You're now going up to 41,000 per month on average to hit the 50,000. Hence the 20,000 extra per month. Talk us through that journey of what was the next hire, the next hire, the next hire. What was the role and what did they do?
Okay, so
where was it in the year timeline?
Okay. So started the year with 2 sourcing VAs. Then admin was kind of taking over my life, so I hired a admin VA March time.
Okay, so month 3, admin VA part time.
Part time, yeah. She had another job, so she gave us a recommendation. Then it would have been 3 months later, once we kind of put everything in place and got her lifted up to a certain level. We then hired another admin VA, and I wanted to hire 2 more sourcing VAs.
Okay.
And more or less hired them both at the same time. And that was the process.
So let's just clarify. Beginning of the year, 2 full-time sourcing VAs. Month 3, you hire an admin VA, part-time. Then you hire another one 3 months later, is that right?
Yeah, that was right. So.
And that is an admin or a sourcing VA?
No, that was admin.
Okay, so you've now got 1.5 admin VAs.
Yeah.
Wow, you have a lot of admin, don't you?
Yeah, so we would do a little bit on eBay as well. So we would do a little bit of drop shipping on eBay. So there was a case of I wanted to bring someone in to manage that as well. So yeah.
Okay, so maybe that isn't so much a requirement because you're doing outside of the Amazon business, but
yeah.
So that's the thing. Okay, so that's month 6. You got another admin VA. Then you got another 2 sources you purchased.
2 sourcing, yes.
When did they join? What month?
That would have been, about May time. Yeah.
Okay, so is that before? So that's month 5.
Yeah, that would be month 5. So I wanted to go into Q4, which is basically, I know Q4's October, but I wanted to go into kind of middle of October, start of November with enough sourcing VAs with enough experience. So I kind of worked back from that date, and that was the kind of earliest that I wanted those VAs to start, so they'd have at least kind of 6 months experience.
Okay.
So, 3 months experience. I was able to hire one that had experience, and then one of the other VAs, she had no experience at all. So we brought her in, and she kind of just learnt off the rest of the team.
So if I clarify, started off 2 sourcing VAs, 21,000 a month, plus you. Then we moved to month 3, part-time admin VA. Month 5, 2 sourcing VAs. Month 6, 1 full-time admin VA. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. So that's really good. And then I think the takeaway which I'm learning from you and what you're saying there is, again, you've got to have the goal. That's step 1, have the goal. Step 2 is once you understand the goal, you've got to work backwards. And what do we mean by work backwards? Well, that means is when do you want them to start adding value? So you said Q4, so that's October. You said, well, actually, I'm going to need them ready for Q4.
Yeah.
So then the other thing, so probably the other takeaway is it takes 3 months before they're actually ready. It's about people's training and development, getting them up to skill. So you can't start them in October because they're not ready. You need to start them sooner. So that's like July, if my math is correct. And that gives them enough chance to practice, get right. And then when you're into Q4, you're now all full steam ahead. Yeah. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you can kind of, once that system's in place and it's had kind of 3 months for things to run through, you can iron out a few things, then you can kind of turn the heat up. Yeah, that was the thinking behind it.
Fantastic. No, that's really good, and I think very useful. I think the takeaways which I take, have the plan, work backwards, understand VAs take 3 months. Also as well, with the increased workload of sources, also comes additional admin, hence why you kind of took that on.
Yeah.
Admittedly, you did other things, but you did see the increase in the admin as well, and that's something to really think about. But that has grown you, that's given you an additional 20,000 in revenue per month by building that system out with those VAs.
Yeah, I think the experience that I had in 2020 Q4 was just didn't have enough deals. I didn't spend enough money. So I didn't want to be in that position again. So that's why I really pushed quite hard at the start of the year to get as many people in place so that I'd have as much experience so that Q4 this time around would be much better.
Cool, interesting. And I think the final takeaway, plan it back definitely, but the other one is if you think about metrics, numbers to scaling a business, we talk about 20,000 per month increase. You've hired 2 sourcing VAs, so a rough, and I'm saying very rough rule of thumb, £10,000 per month revenue per VA to start with.
Yeah, that's quite something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool. And I know certainly in my business we have some VAs who are like way exceeding that, but admittedly they've been enrolled for like a year and a half now, so that's where you get going, and then it will ramp up after that.
Well, this is it. I mean, the jobs that take longer, you want to start them earlier, so you can get a head start on them really.
Fantastic. So obviously you're a man with a plan. You have big goals in mind. 500,000 now, or like tomorrow maybe. What's next year? What's the next plan?
I think aiming for 7 figures would be something to aim for.
Wow. The big 1 million.
The big, I mean, 7 figures. I mean, if we converted, Liam and I did a live in Canada a few weeks ago, and I didn't realize that Canadian dollars is 1 to 2. So I suppose I'm kind of already a 7-figure seller somewhere in the world. But 7 figures sterling. Yeah, that would be. It'd be nice to get to.
Wow, fantastic. Hey, honestly, really, really good. And I think what's really interesting over the journey you've just talked about is the fact that you've set the goal, you've broken it down, and you put a strategy into place, and actually you're going to achieve it, which is really nice to see. And it shows that you've understood the metrics and you've understood the drivers of your business, and you know how to push it forward. So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, find out more about you and iGen as well, I know you're obviously part of the community there as well, how can they do that?
Facebook is the best way.
Cool.
So I'm Lloyd Jones on Facebook, iGen Entrepreneur. That's the best way to get in touch with us,
Fantastic. If anyone wants to know, I will drop a link to obviously the iGen Entrepreneur Facebook group, and you can obviously contact Lloyd in that. So have a look in the comments or see your description down below. Lloyd, thank you so much for your time, and obviously I wish you the best of luck on your journey to 7 figures. From myself, everyone watching, thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.